Hi, welcome to another video of the Target Individual Experience, the Target Individual Program. Um, what a incredible couple of days it's been, with the Target, and they have changed up their tactics again. Coming to the weekend, I always talk about how the heavy targeting begins usually starting Thursday. Okay. But this time they did a little bit different. Instead of using, you know, heavy-handed psychological tactics using civilian perpetrators, they were very subtle outside. But when I got in the house by Pam, uh, they were using her quite um, extensively and quite heavily, targeting me. You know, so for instance, she comes in the door from work. I'm sitting by the computer, and she walks up to me with her hands folded like this, staring at me like like I did something wrong, right? So she's like this, hands folded, staring at me, and then she looks down at my feet, and they've been conditioning her to do that a lot lately. Every time she walks past me when we're in the house, she looks down at my feet, right? And yesterday was no different. You know, so even yesterday morning, she's shaking my pants, talking about, oh, you have a lot of change in your pants pocket. Like, why are you touching my pants? You know, why are you shake? Why are you? First of all, why are you shaking my pants? You know. But again, they love to send subliminal message of being, you know, financially destitute and stuff like that, which they've partially succeeded. I mean, you know, with the blacklisting and the damage to my spine and my brain that they've caused me, and so I'm on disability. So basically, and the constant psychological harassment of sending me subliminal message about taking away my disability and stuff like that. So, you know, like I said, yesterday started out no different, except, well, look different in terms of they were using her extensively to target me. And so, I left last night, which was Thursday, the 10th, right? Thursday, January 10th. So I left after she came from work. She went to pick up the kids because my back was hurting me. So I asked her to go pick up the kids, and she didn't want to. And I'm just like, listen, my back is hurting me. I had a very long day. I had issues with some things that I had purchased from eBay, and I was trying to get those things rectified. It was for a computer, so my back was hurting me, and she didn't want to go pick up the kids. And literally, I just said to her, "Listen, my back is hurting me. You can go pick up the kids, okay?" And then she was like, "Well, I'm not ready yet, and they'll have to wait." Now mind you, they have the kids supposed to be picked up by 5:30, okay? And it was around 5:20 something, and she was like, "Well, they have to wait until I'm ready." So I mean, that's her attitude. Like lately, because of the targeting, she's been having this attitude towards me, and it's not the first time. This happens every time where she just have this negative attitude, and like, oh, I don't care. Like, she'll walk in the house, she'll have stuff in her hands, throw it all over the floor. If she buys something and she unwrap the package will be left on the floor or on the couch for me to clean it up, right? So after seeing all this, I left, because part of this coercive persuasion program is to make people feel that they are superior over you. Okay, it is to take away your humanity, basically, if you're a TI. They no longer view you as a human being. They have turned them against you, and they feel that they can talk to you, treat you however way they feel. Okay? And so, that's the villainization process. Okay? So, like I said, so lately she's just been, very, very, weird. And also, when they use her extensively to target me, okay, there will be police sirens, okay, going off at the time that she's doing it. And I think it's to prevent me from leaving, because usually when they use her a lot, I just usually leave. And you guys seen videos where I just explain that how they're using her to target me, and I just leave. And they don't at times want that, for whatever their agenda is. Because sometimes, they'll do that to make me leave, right? But recently they've been, especially, using the police sirens. Because normally we get into an argument because of the targeting. I leave, I'm on my way home, and then I'll see heavy police presence. But this time, actually the past couple of times, instead of, when I leave, I see a heavy presence of police, they are using the police sirens while she's targeting me. Okay, so this is how they've changed up their tactics. Okay, so let me start the video, because this is going to be a long video, so I'm just giving you guys notice, because there's a lot here, and I want to explain. I'm gonna try to not make it too long, but this is going to be a long video. Okay. Also, last night, before I forget, and I do forget a lot of stuff that's happening, but so after she finished targeting me, and I was like, then she leaves, right? She just abruptly leaves. Okay, so I went to her, and I said to her, hey, I'm going home, and then she wanted to act all surprised and be like, how come? Maybe she is surprised, because the microwave technology, which they beam us with, causing her to, behave in such a way, and even my kids. And so when my kids start complaining about having headaches, and even she also complains about having headaches because of the microwave, but she doesn't think it's microwave, but I do, because I know. And so as I was leaving, they were microwaving my son, Ethan. So as I was heading towards the door, he walks towards me, and then he does this. Okay, towards me. Now I've talked about civilian perpetrators doing that, and I've also showed you on video civilian perpetrators doing that. Now they have my son doing it, microwaving us in the house, and that's why I had to leave. Because if I had remained in the house, the kids would be getting up in the middle of the night talking about how they have headaches. And when I got home last night, my head started hurting so bad that I was on the phone with the TI, and I just started. I basically screamed out in pain, because it was concentrated at the top of the head towards the back, the right side, and it was very sharp pains, very quick, sharp pains, and I just yelled out in pain. Okay, and I was like, I told us, listen, I gotta go, and I have I'm prescribed naproxen, so I took a naproxen, and that helped, but I woke up around a little after 3 o'clock in the morning with the back of my head in pain, okay, and I couldn't go back to sleep because I was in pain, and I didn't want to take another naproxen, because I tried to minimize my use of taking medication, because of my condition and what they've done to me. I'm taking quite a few medication, okay, and they have very dangerous side effects. So sometimes when I get the headaches, if it's not that bad, I'm not going to take any medication for it. But when it was as bad as it was yesterday, then I take naproxen. And I have another headache medication to take too, but that one, the side effects is even worse. So yeah, so that's what happened yesterday. Okay, but I'm gonna go through some videos, and this is during this week, past couple of days. Okay, so let's see. So I believe this was on, let's see, 2019, on the 8th, right? So the 8th was Tuesday. So the 8th was Tuesday. Okay. So I had just dropped Hannah off, and I didn't do any recording taking her to work. Don't know why. Sometimes they'll irradiate me to where I don't even think about recording, even though sometimes I try to be more proactive in recording. But anyway, so at this point, something happened. I can't remember what it was, but then I think what they were civilian perps that was walking along the sidewalk here, and they were doing these hand signals. So I started the recording. Okay. There we are. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to skip past this because I don't really worry too much about, I care too much about a lot of these civilian perp, just exposing what it is that they do. All right, so let's go here, and here I am parking. And then I had to get out because on my previous video, I want to show you guys. Let me pause it. I talked about this, how these cars, the number 32 always seems to find their way on my block, on Pam's block when I'm there. Okay, and again, I talked about how they try to use the number 32 as a trigger. All right, and so why am I so fixated on the number 32? Well, not that I'm fixated. It was because I recognize the fixation drill that they try to put me through. Okay, because now, I mean, there's a lot of times I see the number 32 in car license plate. I don't record, because I know when they do things in a particular way, using cars with license plates or cars with numbers on the cars with that number in there, they do it in a certain way which is targeted towards me. Okay, so then that's when I start recording and show you guys. Also, I try to show you guys the amount of vehicles, okay, new vehicles that are finding their way on my block to park with the number 32 in the license plate. And of course, when I was being put through the fixation drill using that number in the beginning, the very first car on my block that was given the number in the license plate, because there were no other cars on my block with that number in the license plate, whether it be in the front, the middle, the behind, the last two numbers, what have you, was this car over here. Exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Okay. Let's cross over here. Okay, so you see this little car here. In the previous video I did, I kind of call out the license plate number because you couldn't really see it because I was driving. But this is this car here. Okay, new car started parking on my block. Okay, there's another car also that has Jersey plate, and I tried to record it, but for some reason I could not record that car. I hit the record button, nothing happened. So I'm thinking that they you know, hacked my phone to prevent me from recording the license plate of that vehicle because it was a New Jersey plate, a New Jersey license plate. But anyway, so this car here, again, just started parking on my block. I think it was uh, last week, right? Just start seeing it, and it's been parked on my block almost every time I go home. It's been parked on my block. Okay. Now this car, this vehicle here, right? This vehicle used to have a different license plate number. Okay, and then this vehicle, the owner got a new license plate with the number, and this was the very first car parked on my block that had that number in it. Okay, after having a different number, right? So the owner got a new license plate with the number 32 on it, and then after that, a lot of cars are coming on the block parking with that number on the license plate. And again, when I'm driving, people who are driving car with that number license plate would deliberately come in front of me. Like I said, I started recognizing the fixation drill, particularly when I would find parking. I would park behind cars or in front of cars that have the number 32 license plate. Okay, and that's, like I said, that's why I started recognizing that I was being conditioned, right, and put through a fixation drill. Okay, so that was Tuesday, and it's right here. So then I left the house. That was in the afternoon. So that was in the morning. So I was taking care of some stuff with my grandnephew computer. I had bought him a new CPU for his computer, but for some reason, when I installed it, I was having problems. I mean, the computer started fine, but it wasn't recognizing the amount of RAM that I had installed in the computer. So anyway, it ended up being a bent pin. Tried to fix it, and the pin got broken. So I had to, contact the seller and let him know and to return the CPU to him. So, as I got in the car, drove off, I saw another car now. This is the vehicle that had the number 32 license plate that had the Jersey plate. It was a black BMW. And I hit the record button. Okay, I hit the record button. All right, and I saw the number saying that it's recorded. So went back, I downloaded the videos, and I went to look for the video because it's relevant to what I'm going to explain. And the only video I saw was this one. Now, this is right after I drove away from my block. This is the next block, and the camera. Okay, because I have it to record in 1080p 60 frames per second, so it records in 10-minute interval, right? And so it hadn't even been 3 minutes before I left, before I pulled out the park space and started driving. But this is the only footage that I got, and this footage is only a couple of seconds. Literally, it says 2 seconds, actually 1 second, right? Now, I know because of my experience in this program, when they don't want me to record something or someone, they will, because they're monitoring my phone and all this stuff, so they will prevent me from recording, right? And they've done this plenty of times. Okay, and recently what they've been doing, particularly on my phone, because the apps on my phone, what I do is that I turn off the notifications for the majority of the app, right? I think I only have maybe 2 apps that I have notification turned on, right? And that is YouTube and eBay. Okay, all the other apps I turn off. Right? Because what they'll do, right? They used to, and they still do it. 'Cause they still turn on the apps when they hack into my phone. Um, I would see notifications. I would go into the app, go into all the look for any messages, any notification within the app to, um, you know, view it, but I wouldn't see any messages or notification within the app. So I'm like, well, why do I have notification? It says I have one notification, right? Why, where is that notification? And so, I realized that, what, they were hacking into my phone, and they love to use, numbers as part of my targeting. As your TI, numbers are a intricate part of the targeting because of how you're conditioned. So I went and I turned off all the notification, right? Except for those two apps, right? The next day, I looked at my phone. The apps that I had turned notification off, they had turned them back on. Okay? So I had to turn them off again, right? So this is the stuff that they do. So let's move on. So anyway, I'm thinking that the phone is recording, but apparently it's not. For whatever reason, it only recorded a 1 second clip, and that was it. Okay? And I'm driving, so I'm really not paying attention. Like once I hit that record button and I see the number going, then I'm like, okay, it's recording, right? So now I pulled up. This is on the 8th again, which is Tuesday, right? And so I pulled up onto Pam's block, and I hit the record button because when I looked up and I saw that the phone wasn't recording, I hit the record button because, right, as I pulled up onto Pam's block, I saw a police car, all of a sudden turn on its license. I'm sorry, not license. Turn on its sirens. Okay, no noise now, just the sirens alone. Sometimes they'll do that. And drove off. So I was like, okay, I gotta hit the record button, right? So you'll see flashing lights.
So I just showed up on the block, and well, what do we have? We got a whole bunch of police activities.
See the flashing light? And that's why I had turned so I can record it. And then again, pull up behind a Jersey plate car with Jersey plate, so they know what they're doing. They wanted me to recognize the license plate because they purposely put the car there with the number 32 in it, so I can notice it, all right, and prevented me from recording that vehicle with that license plate. And then when I get to Pam's block, right in front of her building, okay, there's a car park with Jersey plates. Okay, this is how they do what's called power of association. Okay, and of course, the vehicle being red is another tactic that they use, the use of colors. Okay, so apparently, I don't know what happened, but there's a lot of police presence on the block, and they were there for a while because I asked someone, and they were like, yeah, they were there for a while. So this is my belief, okay, because they know, okay, so what they'll do, they'll use situations, and they probably could have been going a while ago, but they waited because they know I was on my way to Pam's block. That's why when I pulled up on Pam's block, that police vehicle just all of a sudden drove off, had its lights on, okay, no sirens, you didn't hear any sirens, but you did see the flashing lights, okay, and then, it began, and I recognized this, and I said, okay, you know what, I'm going to go in front of this car because, again, I'm hoping that they'll do something that I can catch on video that I can show exactly how they do things in terms of their psychological harassment, right?
Hey, what happened?
Okay, so that was the super in Pam's building, and I asked him, and he didn't look. He just came up, but there was another person after this was over that I asked, and that told me that what exactly what happened. Okay, so let's get past this. So that's me. I pull up in front of the police vehicle, right? And I want you guys to see this. Okay, I gotta mute it because of copyright reasons. But so remember, each of these video is 10-minute long, and so I'm gonna skip past some of this because I want to get to the relevant part. Okay, and so while I'm there, I okay, let's go back a little bit. So because again, I want to see how many police vehicles are on the block. So as I'm driving, and I'm going to explain what I was told, what happened. Okay. All right, let's go back. Now I want you to watch on the left hand side, the civilian perp. See, put the hand behind the head, and he puts it down. This guy right here on the right, not the left, the right. Okay, so I'm back on the block again. So now they bring the guy out in handcuffs. I'm gonna put him in the back of the car. Okay, and look at how this guy right here stares at me. Okay, so it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 police officer to walk a handcuffed man. 6 actually, this guy right here. To walk a handcuffed man. Okay? Into the vehicle. Alright? So they knew I was coming. So they waited. Okay? And they know me because, yeah, I'm going to go right behind them because I want to show exactly what it is that they're doing, right? So then, of course they may have a legitimate reason for being there, but they will always use legitimate reasons to participate and to as a way of incorporating your targeting. Okay, so when you do a video and you say, "Oh, the police is harassing me" and stuff like that, they might say, "Well, they had a legitimate reason for being there," which is true. Okay, but it doesn't mean that they're not targeting you while they're there for a legitimate reason. And I'm going to show you guys. So see how this guy keep looking back at me? I'm doing very subtle hand signal. Like, for example, the keys in his hand, how he's jingling it. And if you guys been on my talk show, and you can see here how he sticks his hands in his ears. Okay, let's go back here. Went a little too far. You have to excuse me. I'm trying to navigate in this little scrolling thing here. Alright, I'm just gonna play from the beginning. Alright. And then I'll explain. Okay. So, he is shaking his keys, jingling his keys. And I start to pick up on the subtle targeting. And now, the suspect's been in the car well over 10 minutes, but they're standing there. Let me see, it was actually 10 minutes. not quite 10 minutes, but a few minutes, right? And they're standing there having a conversation, okay, blocking traffic, okay? Because again, and you see this guy cover his mouth, okay? You look to the right, and you go back a little, go back a little. As he's looking back. Okay. Go back a little bit more. Okay, right here. See? Covers his mouth. Okay. There he goes again. He does it twice. Okay, he looks towards me. And like I said, they will, use a situation. And who knows? I could be like, this is probably an elaborate street theater because they will do that. Okay. Because again, I've talked about this in many of my other videos on my talk show, in which in the beginning of my targeting, like I would constantly see police arresting people in front of me, and it just seems so unnatural, right? That the amount of people that I see being arrested in front of me, was staggering. Okay, I mean, before that, I would rarely see those things, but after I became aware of my targeting, I used to see it many times, to where to me it was very unnatural. Okay. So now they're still, it's like, the suspect is already in the police vehicle, okay, and they're still like, you want, how long does it take to put the seatbelt around the suspect that's in handcuff in the back of a police vehicle, right? So again, this is all done because I'm parked right behind them. So they now,
right
they
now,
want to carry out
microwave, remote neural monitoring. Just start getting the headaches.
Right. So you hear me say that I feel like I'm being microwaved because I start getting the headaches, and that's exactly what was happening. I was being microwaved. Okay. This was a theater that's happening here, even though they're there. They may be there for a legitimate reason. They waited for me to come on the block so they can start doing the microwaving and also the subtle hand signal, the silent subliminals that they do. Okay, now you see this police officer here. We're gonna go back just a little bit on what he does. Okay, now you see the hand behind the head. See that? Okay. Now he still has his keys in his hand, jingling, and I'm gonna tell you the significance of that. Early on in my targeting, when I was in family court as well as criminal court, because they basically manipulated Bryce's mother. Bryce is my older son, to participate in this campaign against me. And when I was outside waiting in criminal court for my case to be called, or that's not criminal court, I'm sorry, family court, for my name to be called, the court officers would walk by and they will take their keys and hold it in their hand, and it will jingle it every time they walk by, they will jingle it. And every time I go to court, they would do that, right? So this is where that come from. This is, them using the power of association. Okay? And again, this is all neurolinguistic, right? and that's why I zoomed in too. I zoomed in so that uh, you guys can get a better picture or a close-up view of the things that they're doing. Okay, see how he looks back at me? You're not looking back at traffic, you're looking directly back at me. There he goes, looks at me again. He looks at me again. Okay, now do you see what he does with his feet? And again, that's probably why they have Pam, after this took place, every time she walked towards me in the house, she's looking down at my feet. So after he's looking at me, okay, now you'll see him lift his feet. See that how he sticks his feet out? His feet slightly out. Looks at me again. Now, he's not looking back at traffic now. He's looking at me, okay? Yep, keep looking. Now, I wanted to go back to the part where he pressed his thumb against his clothing, because that's something that they do also, but I guess I missed it. Because again, this little scroll wheel here is so small that sometimes when I want to go backward, it actually goes forward a little bit. But, you know, I'm not going to bother to go back. Okay. Okay, so you see right here the hand signal, right? Let me try, because I want you guys to see this. I'm going to tell you exactly what he's doing. Okay, I'm going to try to be careful and go back, because I don't want to miss this. Okay, alright, that's fine. I went back a little further, but that's fine. Maybe not. Okay, this is so difficult right now. Okay. Come on. Okay. just the hand. It's the hand behind the back with the palm open. Uh, that's what he did. Okay. And he looks back at me. Right there. See that? Palms behind, hands behind the back, palm open, and then you'll see he grabs his butt. Right? This is the thing that these people do. You know, I mean, it's wild, okay? But again, being in this program for so many years, at first, being terrorized, not knowing what's happening to me, okay? Being told that I have a mental illness and all this stuff, and because it was interesting when this stuff affected me to where I had a mental breakdown. Um, they the harassment became very subtle because it wasn't as extensive and intense right before that. So then after that happened, it became very subtle. But I realized that, like, I was looking for another job because I wanted to leave my workplace. And every time I would go to a job interview, every time I would approach the building or the building in which the business was in, there would be a person standing there, civilian perp, and every time they see me, they will take $1 out of their pocket and just hold it up so I can see it. Okay, this is what's happened to me in the beginning, and it was scary as shit. Cause like I said, I didn't understand what's going on. The constant noise campaign, trying to go to sleep, wake up in the middle of the night to go use the bathroom, taking a piss. All of a sudden, I'm hearing whoop whoop every single time. You know what I'm saying? Every single time. And no matter what time I will wake up, I will hear that siren. And then I started waking up at the 32-minute mark after the hour. If I wake up, so if I wake up in the middle of the night at 2:32, immediately I'll wake up, police sirens. I wake up again, at 3:42 or 3:32 or 4:32 or 5:32, same thing, police sirens. It got to the point where I will wake up, lay in bed, and just peek at the clock. Okay, and when it says, whether it be like 2:32 or what have you, I would just stay in bed, close my eyes, even though I had to pee really bad, but I would just stay in bed because I knew what was happening. Okay, but it didn't matter because immediately after I got up, go use the bathroom, take a pee, sirens. Okay, so that right there was scary in itself. I mean, you're at a point where you can't think straight. You're bombarded with subliminal message being microwave, the noise campaign, and now that I understand what was being done, it was to break me down psychologically, which they did because I had a nervous breakdown, and then when my mind state is at a point where they had broken it down is to now bombard me with subliminal messages and also the noise campaign fear tactics, right? So that was happening in the beginning. So again, so this is what he's doing. Hands behind the back, palms open. Then he's gonna grab his butt, which is what they do. Okay, so I send a subliminal message. Okay, now the hand goes up. It didn't go behind the back, but it's still the same thing. It's in the front. So the hand goes up. And now this dude comes, looks at me as he's walking across the street. Okay, all orchestrated. Okay, so the minute, and you may say, well, why would the police take the time to do this? Have you been reading the news the past couple of years of the shit that these police officers do? The gang mentality that they have. Okay, and this is exactly the mentality that they have. That they would, and they could, and they do stuff like this. Okay, particularly if they participate in a coercive persuasion program that was created by the CIA, the FBI, the Department of Defense, that sort of thing, and the harassment and the villainization starts with the police. It doesn't start with them, but they're a big part of it in terms of spreading rumors throughout the community, keeping you under surveillance, that sort of thing, right? And so the police have always been used in that capacity, whether it be the Department of Health, like with people who may have certain type of diseases that are contagious, they use the police also. Okay, so just remember that. So this is nothing new. I'm just exposing it in a way that no one has ever done before. Okay, because of what they've done to me, and realizing that they did it in terms of because they wanted to experiment, okay, on someone. They did it to my brother. They threatened him that they were going to do it to me. They did it to me, and then they threatened me that they're going to do it to my kids. Okay, they're psychologically threatened that they're going to do this to my kids. So I'm explaining the way so that people are aware. So if it happens to your children, yourself, family members, a friend, if you see this video, somebody down the line, if it does happen to somebody that you can refer them to my videos so that they'll know exactly what's being done to them. Okay? Alright, so so it's now been over 20 minutes of them being there. And like I said, they were there a long time before. And so this is the next video again. And there's a particular point that I want to show you guys, okay, which is very relevant. Again, all of this is relevant, but this right here, if you don't see this and be like, something's going on. See, there he goes, looks at me again. They're constantly looking at me, right? So they're constantly looking at me. They're not looking at traffic, they're constantly looking at me, okay? Let's, let me, hold on. Okay, so steps on the brake light. Again, this is all subliminal. Okay, so now they all come around the vehicle. Okay, and you see me zoom up, right? Because again, I know exactly what they're doing. So that's why you see me zoom in. I anticipate this stuff, okay? Because again, you have to study these people. Just as how they study you in the beginning, before you even knowing it, okay? To know everything about you. You know, I don't have the resources. I'm one person, so I have to study them in a way that makes sense to me and try to explain it, right? Okay, so what's the purpose of them stepping on their brake light? And again, it's all subliminal. So see now he stares at me and he looks up in the sky, right? Oh, I missed the part. What did I missed the part. I missed the part. Okay, am I playing the red video here? Okay, back to this video here, but I missed the part. Okay, and let's see here. Let's go. Just gonna have to. Okay. Got to bear with me, but I missed a very important part that I want you guys to see. That's because I was trying to, you know, speed this thing up. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Okay, so man, I can't believe I missed that part. All right, so here it is. Right. Okay. You know what? Let me not show the webcam because again, you know, sometimes when I'm doing this video, my parts of my face start itching. Okay, and I know that is microwave that is doing this, so you know I have to scratch my face, and this is something that they want. So if you're a TI, you're looking at this, I'm not trying to trigger you. That's why I turned off the webcam because again, you know, my face just started itching, my nose is itching, and so I know this is microwave. Okay, so I'm just going to turn off the webcam. And we're going to talk about this. So I missed this part. This is the part that I really wanted to show. Okay, because I moved on to the next video a little bit too quickly. Okay, now I want you to watch this officer right here. Okay, so he goes in. Opens up the police vehicle. And you see this guy comes over here. He's staring at his phone. The officer looks at me. See, he looks at me. He shows me his phone. Officer takes a bag out of the back of the police vehicle. Right? He walks away, looking at the phone in his hand. Right? It's like saying they have it in the bag. What you got in the bag? All right? So he takes the bag and he walks over here. all this is going on. Now he walks back with the bag to put it back into the police vehicle. Again, let me play this again so you guys can see exactly what's going on here. Okay? So watch this script being played out. All right. Again, steps on this brake light. Come on. Let's go back. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is trying to operate this stuff is a little bit frustrating at times, but I gotta show this. Okay, so watch the script being played. Gives him his keys, right? Watch this guy. He's looking at him, right? You'll see. He goes in, gets to the bag, goes in to get the bag. Now look at this guy. Comes out, phone in his hand. Okay. Watch. He turns and looks at me. See that? See how he turns and looks at me? Right? Now he looks at me. Sure. Raise his hands up so I can see his phone. Walks back. Police officer comes out with the bag. Walks over here. And see nothing. Now, it's only like a couple of seconds, right? And he walks back with the bag. Now, they didn't take the bag off of the suspect, right? The suspect didn't have a bag with him, right? When I pulled up, did you see how he gave me the middle finger? All right, let's go back there again so you guys can see this, right? He puts it in. Now, wash his hands. See that? Now, if you guys zoom in, you'll see as he's walking away, he sticks his middle finger out. See that right there? Okay? Now, you see that little move that he just did? Let's go back. Nope, too far. Okay. Okay, watch as he opens up. So you see, step on the brake light. Again, the use of color. Okay. He comes out of the vehicle. Okay, looks at me. All right. Now watch what he's going to do. Right there. Oh, damn it. All right. I meant to press the pause button and I hit the wrong thing. All right, so, okay, here we go. Steps on the brake light. Again, use of color. Okay. See the hand? See this? Now he comes out. He's looking at me. Okay. Now watch. See the thumb. He takes his thumb and he presses it against his clothes, right? Why? just gonna let it play. So you'll see. Just look at his hands, right? As he takes his thumb, and it's going to be very quick. See that? And then he looks at me. Okay. So he takes his thumb, presses it against his clothes, and looks at me. Okay. Again, that's why I gotta explain this stuff because if you're a target, you have no idea of this stuff. Okay. And that's why it's important that I explain a lot of this stuff to you guys. Okay. Okay, so now, who comes? But this guy in the bag wearing the red bag. Everything is color themed and color coded. Okay? And they're brilliant at masking their techniques. Okay? But guess what? I'm brilliant at uncovering and exposing their techniques. At least that's what I think. Okay? Like I said, the one thing that they made me so determined was to expose what it is that they were doing. Regardless of the cost, regardless of them threatening my life, threatening the lives of my kids, that I made it my mission to expose them for what it is that they're doing. Let's let's go back a little bit. Let's go back to where it's zoomed in. Okay. All right. See, when you've been psychologically conditioned, okay, which we all are, the majority, and here he's looking at me, the white officer, and he looks up at the sky, right? So, we all are conditioned, but as targeted individuals, we are conditioned in a more concentrated form because they want us to not really understand, but they want us to identify with the triggers that they have, implanted in our subconscious,
Okay.
Okay, and so when they do these things, it's because they know that we are conditioned in a certain way. That's why you see perps do hand signals. That's why you see them folding their lips, right? That's why you'll see them wearing certain colors, right? Because they know how we have been conditioned. And so they have been taught, right, through this psyops, okay, exactly what it is that they need to do to negatively affect the TI. Okay, and that's just one aspect. And this, not just these police officers, but civilians too. And if you read the MK Ultra documents, especially the parts that hasn't been redacted, there's a lot of information on how they do these things, right? And how they also send agents into society to teach civilians these things. CIA agents are embedded in the police department across America, particularly in big cities, and the use of coercive persuasion, the use of psychological manipulation are used to get suspects to admit to crimes. And listen, if you did a crime, yeah, okay, yeah, they'll use whatever to you to admit to it, but they also use those psychological tactics on suspects that haven't committed a crime to get them to admit to crimes that they didn't commit. Okay, so you know, and they do this all the time. Okay, they do this all the time. We've read stories they've used this, particularly on black teenagers. Okay, because their minds are more easily manipulated. That they will use these type of tactics and techniques to get them to confess to crimes that they didn't commit. An example, the Central Park Five in Chicago. I think it was called Holman Square, where they had set up a torture center in which they would bring suspects and torture them. And you don't think that it's happening here in New York City too? We just haven't found out yet, But it happens. It's happening. It's been happening since the 80s, since the CIA brought drugs into the black community, okay, and implanted its agents within the police department so they can funnel the drug money that they seize to fund their so that the Reagan administration can fund their guerrilla campaign to overthrow the government in Nicaragua. Okay, so this is nothing new. People want to act like this is new. This is nothing new. You just been living in your bubble. We all been living in our bubble. Okay, and the one thing that they effed up at is that doing this to certain people in hopes that that they will keep quiet about the non-consensual human experimentation taking place. Okay, and they thought that they had this program so well thought out, and the use of every scenarios and the adaptation to those scenarios to silence targeted individuals, to silence those that they have experimented on, particularly illegally microchipping individuals, okay, for the purpose of remote monitoring. The study of non-ionizing microwave radiation to see the long-term effect on it. And this is something that the government does, okay, but people want to act as if the government doesn't do things like this. Okay, a good book to read is Noam Chomsky, Manufactured Consent, and you will see how we have been conditioned to worship celebrities, to worship people with money, to fear the police, right? When the police are supposed to be working for the taxpayers, right? But no, the police are working for the elite to protect the interests of the elite, to protect the interests of those within the higher ups in law enforcement, when they are security, when they commit these sorts of crimes against human beings. Okay, so it's nothing new. So there's a couple of videos that I want to play, but I'm not going to do it. I'll save it for another time. But I hope I'm giving you guys good insight into what I experienced and into my thoughts of what's happening to me, and show that yeah, this is being done. And if you look at the video and something that these officers just was doing that didn't seem right, you know what I'm saying? Just think about that for a minute, right? Just think about that. Okay? So I will see you guys and speak to you guys on the next video.